Hey, howdy, good peoples, and a welcome to the Coyote Fur Trumpet channel. For those returning, thank you for the interest. A big thank you to the new subscribers and the comments left. They definitely help the channel grow. If you are new here, welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I hope all is well. Now let's get this thing on the road. At this moment, we will be working on my Fender Squier Affinity P Bass. The P stands for precision. I picked this up many years ago. As soon as I got it, I stripped all the paint off it. It was originally metallic blue. Back in the day, I did some heavy modification to the passive electronics. We'll go over that. I never actually finished it 100%. And so today I'm going to give it a proper setup and fix a few of the quirks that I have found over the years. First problem we have is that the volume and tone pots are at different levels. Definitely need to fix that. Also, we have some creepy high action we need to address. Pickup height is incorrect. And so with that, let's do the backyard walk around. Have a good look at it out in the daylight. This was my first experiment in shooting lacquer on an instrument. The wood is not a great specimen for that, but it turned out good for what I was learning at the time. So first things first, let's get these tone pots taken care of. Basically, they just need adjusted. There's actually two types here. The large style and then the dime style I use for the tone. This is totally set up differently than a standard P bass. For adjustment, we'll loosen the strings and take off the faceplate, pick guard, and get into the guts of this whole thing. Here we'll peek at the electronics. Yeah, I got some painter's tape holding stuff together. I believe that way back in the day, I wasn't sure if this was going to work, so I just taped it together, put it back together, and then never went and addressed and resoldered everything. The biggest thing we need to notice here is that the tone pot is where the input jack used to be, and then I moved the input jack onto the side. The stock P bass only has one pickup, so you only need one tone and one volume. This has two pickups, so we needed to add another volume for that other pickup. So we have two volumes and one tone. So I want to say I picked this up in about 2005, 2006. I bought it, it was used. Strings were on it when I got it. I've never replaced these strings. These are the same strings since whenever it was first strung up, which is probably 2003, 2004, who knows. But anyway, I have yet to switch those out. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a slight fading on the lacquer, the instrument lacquer that I used. It's not polyurethane, it's a true lacquer, and you're getting a funky little patina going on with the aging. Trippy. Note the original pickup Note that the original pickguard holes have been filled and re-drilled. This monster sits outside of the pickguard. So when I did the removal of paint, it used to be a solid color. So after removing the finish, doing the Beetle-esque wood grain thing here, this body, I believe this is basswood, and it's ugly. The grain on it is terrible. I probably should have painted it another color of my liking. The original blue was not my go-to. I think that if I ever do a solid body, what I would color, solid bodied color, I would probably paint it the color that I want with a whatever finish, and then I would cover it with this instrument lacquer that I've used. I believe it's nitrocellulose. I could be wrong though. I don't have my facts all together on this, but it's not polyurethane, it's a true lacquer. Anyway, but this is our story, and this is what we're working on. It's a funky little unit here, and I'll go into the electronics a bit later. The pickups are wired out of phase from each other. There's no switching. Each is wired directly to a volume pot. So as you turn them up, the phasing of these two goes through some different characters, and you can get different results by raising like the volume on one pickup while only using a partial of the other, and flipping, flopping. And then there's right in the center of where the potentiometers have a certain value, the pickups take on a really strange sound, and I'll give a sound demo of that. That's kind of what gives this instrument its appeal. Others will disagree. A lot of players will say that bass pickup should never be out of phase, but if you say I can't do something, that's probably when I'll break down and do it, just to, well, that's how I am. All right, we got them dogs level. We leveled them by placing bolts on the backside to bring those backed off from the faceplate, whereas this one is straightforward, giving us the height that we need to bring them all level. Level is level. With the knobs in place, I'm happy with that. That'll work. So, reason for the small knobs, this area here, there's not a lot of diameter, and if you use a larger knob, you kind of take away the border of the faceplate there, whereas with the small ones. And anyway, yeah, small. So I found some old black tape. Thought I'd just use this for detailing this weird little area. This pick guard is used for a bass that has the truss rod at the body and not at the neck like the Squier Affinities are equipped. With the pick guard back in place, we will now address the final setup on this instrument. Mainly the pickup height and the action. The humbucker pickup and the bridge were purchases from Guitar Fetish. I can't say good things about these, and I can't say bad things about these. They function. Here's a look at a full-size knob at the tone knob area. You can see how it just looks out of place. So I chose to use all three matching knobs. The knobs I chose to use on this come from a Boss Effects foot pedal. So next I'll check the relief on this. I'm not going to go into full detail on all the stuff I did to set this up. This is not a how-to setup video, but I did address some topics. All right, so we got a couple things here. The bridge, aftermarket bridge, adjusting the action. I can't adjust it low enough to get the action to a point where it's good. But then on that same token, we have got some unlevel frets happening, and they're causing, if I do lower the action, I'm getting some fret buzz here because of some fret areas that are not cool. Probably might need to shim the neck because we're good on our relief at this point. Anyway, it's playing a lot better. Gonna give it a clean up and put it back in action. There's a quick one for you. So now I'm wondering, should I take the neck off, level the frets, and then on this bridge, there's adjustments that sit in saddles. I think that if I was to file the saddles, they would sit lower and you would get more adjustment in the lower situation. I'm probably going to take the neck off and work on those frets, work on the neck, and then work on the bridge, get that dialed in. Okay, with the saddle removed, you can see how it fits in there. I was thinking at one point that I could actually sand and file this down, but there's a lot of surface there, and it actually you can see it. There's a little screw there. I don't want to mess with that, but I think with these pieces, you could actually bring these down. We've got, let's see if the light will work correctly. We've got a lot of play to bring this down. So with that, this piece here, I'm going to sand down a bit. I'm going to sand all of them down so they're the same size. And that will give us the action adjustable at the bridge. And then obviously we've got to deal with the neck. If I remember right, I think there's a shim in here. So we need to shim the neck and maybe file the end frets down a bit. But anyway, I'm going to redress all these. I'm here, I might as well do it. Oh wow. Here's my shim. So here we have a stamp of July 2004 and a look at the original metallic blue that this instrument came manufactured as. Here's a quick glance at the leveling process on the frets. The higher frets I was a little more aggressive with and gave them a little rake towards the body to keep fret buzz away. And I just use 1000 grit sandpaper on my little wood plane with the blade raised up out of the way. Worked great. Here's a comparison of the original bridge and the bridge that is installed now. Double checking, double checking. Finally, we crown the frets with a file. This pretty much makes the neck as good as it's going to get. And of course, to win the race, you have to polish the frets. I've been experimenting with leather and polishing compounds. I still haven't found exactly the recipe that I'm comfortable with. Here we are with all of our saddle pieces that we're going to trim down. We gathered them from the bridge and put them on a piece of tape and collected them all together and then stuck them in a vise and then got aggressive with a file. Note that this is not actually me filing them. It's just a reference video. Whereas you really shouldn't file back and forth, but in one motion. Whoa, hold on. We need to stop. With the recent revisit to this instrument, neuron resurrection has occurred. Coyote has given much thought to the circuit that gives purpose. Behold, a choice of new direction. We will be adding a switch to achieve whether the pickups are either in or out of phase from each other. The switch will be a two-position DP-DT toggle. DP-DT stands for double pull, double throw. This added modification will give the instrument more options. First, we are retaining the current setup with the far out of phase sound. Second, we can switch to the more traditional setup, giving the bass a in-phase common setup to chase familiar P bass sounds. Obviously, with the two pickups installed, the P bass sound is altered to give it more variety. With the humbucker turned down and the stock P bass pickup volume turned up, we are pretty much welcomed to the sound that it was manufactured with. Turning up the humbucker at the bridge, we get a much more complex sound not found on a off-the-shelf Squier Affinity P Bass. By adding the phase toggle, other worlds are now optional. So where are we? Are you still with me in this change of thought? We were complete, and now the moment takes our thoughts into a different spectrum. Coyote completed the task, but the scope altered. Join the chaos as we all jump back into a vision. Begin, be born, another process, expanding you and yes, my own Coyote for trumpet ideas for compassion in circuitry. So yeah, we finished it. I've had it done for about a week, but now we're gonna add a switch. So it all goes apart yet again. This is a popular thing around here. We'll start by marking where we're gonna put the toggle. I just kind of eyed where we were gonna drill. Pinpointing diameters and correct drill bits. With the position marked, we go on through. A little clearancing on the body was necessary. A gander at the pulp created. And finally, the completed circuit. It's not the prettiest thing, but its purpose and function are a success. So what does it sound like, you ask? Let us plug it in. Thanks for hanging out with Coyote. I'm going to let this record button roll through some miscellaneous noodling. This audio is all run through my guitar pedal board, which included flanger, octave, boost, chorus, delay, and reverb, then into a mixer and direct into an old iOS device. The pedal board doesn't quite do the bass justice, as it's designed for guitar. A key point of the tonal enjoyment is the out-of-phase sound running through a Boss octave pedal. At some point, I might put together a bass pedal board. Okay, that's it to all of you who make up the kind league. Hope you all enjoyed this collection of moments. Now is forever, tomorrow the next.